Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is the show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. We are here on this very beautiful Wednesday. That's right, it's not Tuesday, so don't look at your calendars. We're running a day late just due to some scheduling, but because we are on this special day, we have a very special guest, back by popular demand, Mr. Joshua Del Angel. Yeah, all right, buddy. Hey, man, welcome back. It's been a while. It has been a while, man.
It has, man.
Lisa's been filling in for you, of course. I know with your schedule, you're not, able to come on that much, but it's good to have you back when you can.
Dude, it feels good to be back, man.
Exactly,
it feels good to be back
in
my spot,
man.
ready to just spew out all I have been holding back. Yeah, man, I'm ready.
You know what? One thing I forgot to mention, I love that you're here this week because I totally forgot to mention last week, okay? Last week was the 1-year anniversary of this podcast.
What?
1 year ago, you and I started doing this podcast, man. And while you've been touch and go, you're here now, so that's awesome.
Consistency is not what I'm defined by.
Well, we all know that. Anyone who knows you knows consistency. I just talked to your girlfriend about that.
Oh, nice.
Burn.
She's the one person that would probably disagree.
All right, man. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. New York Comic Con was last week, so we got a lot of trailers. You and I just went through and reviewed some of them. A bunch of news going out as well. For those of you who haven't listened to the show, here's how it goes, guys. I'm going to run off some stories that happened last week. Start off with some Marvel news, some DC news, then Star Trek and Harry Potter if there is any, and then we go into miscellaneous stuff. We're going to then discuss it, and then you guys chime back on social media or on the Gmail account as well. So, before we get into the real stories, I got to talk about something. So, Monday, I was privileged to go and see a special preview of Doctor Strange in IMAX 3D.
Yep.
So, what it was 15 minutes of the film Doctor Strange. They put together like 3 or 4 clips of kind of this little montage or whatever. You got to see an introduction, you got to see a fight scene, you got to see kind of a few flashes of stuff as well. So, I gotta say, man, it was pretty awesome.
I was gonna say, how was a fight scene?
It was cool. Okay, so here's how it goes. So it starts off is you get to see Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, and he's like this glory hogging doctor where he only does a surgery if it'll get him like some press and get him popular and stuff like that. So he's on his way to an awards banquet that's going to honor him. Gets into a car accident, and they show in the accident like his hands being crushed. Oh. They want to make sure to nail that in there that his hands are being crushed as well. And before that, he has a conversation with his ex-girlfriend, played by Rachel McAdams, who's trying to get him to come over to the ER with her. And he's like, I don't see a point in helping people, blah, blah, blah. And so then afterwards, they show him in the East, like Asia, China, whatever, and he's talking about how he spent every last penny he has trying to repair his hands after several surgeries and being back how he was, and nothing's worked. So then he's talking to the Ancient One, and the Ancient One's like, you have such a small perspective or whatever, let me show you the big perspective. And she hits him, that classic scene where he goes out of his body and then comes back again, and then she sends him on this trippy little thing through time where he's basically like bouncing around like time and space, and it's all really like colorful and mystic and trippy and all that other stuff as well. And after that, he's like, teach me.
Nice.
So then he goes into his training mode. He goes to to learn the mystic arts and stuff like that.
It's a great setup.
It is a Marvel movie, so you got to have the quips in there, okay? I know some people are complaining about the jokiness sometimes about the Marvel movies, but to me, it doesn't distract me that much. I mean, I just come to expect it. The Wi-Fi joke that they had still doesn't hit me. They showed it in the featurette. It's the same one as the trailer. It still doesn't work for me. I think it's just stupid. But showed a scene with him in the library trying to check out some books, of course, to learn more. And the librarian, Wong, seemed pretty funny. That would be a good cameo. The thing is the Ancient One was talking about how she said, your Avengers fight the physical threats against your world, but we fight a bigger danger, kind of what it is. And then they got to the fight sequence where you kind of, saw that. So what it was Mads Mikkelsen's character, the villain, Kalius, I can't pronounce his name, and he's chasing down Doctor Strange and Mordo, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor. And they're running down the streets of like New York or something like that, and there's a portal that they're trying to open to escape him. So then Mads Mikkelsen's character then turns the sidewalk sideways, so all of a sudden they're falling down the sidewalk, okay? Wow, and they land on this building, and then they go and they try to run up the building to get away, and then Mikkelsen like splits the building in half or whatever, so that sends them falling, and then he makes the city collapse in itself, so they continue to fall, and it's all just trippy like Inception stuff is what it is.
That's what of course, yeah, it's the first thought.
And then you see a couple more like magic stuff and everything like, and that's kind of what it is. From that fight sequence alone, people going into this movie expecting to see another hit 'em, bang 'em, punch 'em Marvel movie, I think they're gonna be a little turned off because it's about magic, okay?
Yeah.
And it's not gonna be about Captain America hitting the guy or Hulk hitting the guy or Thor hitting the guy. They're gonna be doing spells. It's gonna be like, I want to say Harry Potter, but I don't really want to compare it too much to that. But yeah, just from that fight sequence alone, I think it's gonna be cool, but it's gonna be different as far as the fighting style.
Anything that we've seen from Marvel, I don't think. I think exactly right. I think that the fact that if you go in there expecting to see a typical superhero movie, you're not going to get that. And I think that's what's going to be the selling point, man. It's going to really be something new and inventive that we haven't seen from Marvel yet, man. But at the same time, what I love about it, from that little insert you gave us, is that you still have the classic storyline. You still have
the origin story.
The origin story where this guy's a douche, and then he has to become and change a character, and then his whole perspective changes.
Kind of like Tony Stark was in Iron Man.
Or Thor. The way Thor was, exactly. How arrogant he was.
Every one of the Marvel heroes except Captain America.
Basically.
Who started out as douches and then became good people.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you have to keep that same little bit of formula to recognize as a Marvel movie. But at the same time, man, I'm excited about all the trippy Inception scenes. Exactly. The ancient one, I'm really excited to see her character, his or her character develop.
Played by Tilda Swinton. So
man, I mean, I get excited for the origin stories, the training. I mean, being a Batman guy, that's probably my favorite part of the Batman movies. Is him going through the hardship and the grind of becoming who he really is destined to be. So,
it looked pretty good. Just from what I've seen, I can see it not being as popular as some of the other Marvel movies because of the fact that it is not another, fist fight. Really
I wonder how they're going to set up the fight scenes with... I mean, they're going to be portals everywhere. Is it going to be too chaotic to even see what's going on?
That's what I'm hoping for, because there's some people who are ready to criticize this movie for just being that cookie cutter Marvel movie with the quips and so no stakes and stuff like that. And one thing that I will praise Marvel for is they always stay true to their characters. Iron Man is Iron Man, Captain America is Captain America. And yeah, you have, the typical Marvel staples in there, but I feel like anyone who knows the character of Doctor Strange, which I'm not an expert. I've read a couple of Doctor Strange books, and I've seen him in New Avengers, so I would nowhere be near the expert on Doctor Strange. But from what I saw, it's what I expect a Doctor Strange movie to be like, with the magic and the trippiness and all that other stuff. So I think it's gonna be fun. I mean, like I said, I don't think regular moviegoers who are expecting that typical Marvel movie might be turned off. I don't see it doing as well as some of the other Marvel movies, but I think anyone looking for something a little different, I think we're gonna get it. One thing I liked about it from what I saw in the trailer too was it's a much smaller film as far as characters and the fights. So like you had, Doctor Strange versus Mads Mikkelsen's character, and in the Avengers and all those other movies, you had like that disposable villain army. You had the Ultron robots, the aliens, stuff like that. This doesn't look like it. It looks like it's going to be one guy versus one guy, or just a couple people versus a couple people. Which I think would be cool. So I'm excited. I already bought my tickets. Tickets are now on sale for Doctor Strange. I already bought my tickets for that. So there you go.
Did you give me one?
Of course not. You didn't ask. God, you gotta stay on top of it, man.
Automatically set me up, man, and then I'll pay you. I'll pay you later.
Whatever.
We can
Go
discuss the
go
financial
see it on
part
your own
later.
time, okay? Come on, I'm not your babysitter. I will say, guys, if you want to get to know a little more about Doctor Strange before the film, there was a 2007 animated movie that came out that is actually pretty decent as far as letting you know about Doctor Strange.
Okay.
So I'd recommend. I think it's on Netflix or Hulu or one of those sites.
There is a Doctor Strange film on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
too.
still on there because I imagine they'll probably take it away.
Of course.
Right before the movie, so that you have to actually go physically pay money to rent it or buy it or whatever.
Yeah.
But try to go see if it's on Netflix. I'm sure it's there. But okay, guys. So stepping into the actual news, Marvel news, that is. I touched on this a little bit on Friday, but Hugh Jackman came out on Twitter last week and said the official title for the next Wolverine film is going to be called Logan. And then the director, James Mangold, came out and actually with a poster for the film. It's got Wolverine popping his claws, and it looks like a little child's hand holding it right there. Now, according to Omega Underground, which is a website, they said that hand that is holding Logan is actually going to be the character known as X-23, aka Laura. She's going to be played by Sienna Novikov. I know that's wrong, but a little girl. She was in the films Daddy's Home and Bad Moms. But Adine, that's going to be her. Now, the character of X-23 was introduced in the animated show X-Men Evolution, and then she jumped over into the comics world. She's only got 2 claws compared to Wolverine's 3, and is said to be a clone of Wolverine, the female teenage clone of Wolverine. Can you imagine Wolverine with female teenage angst? That's just as scary. She's even twice as scary as Logan, in my opinion.
Dysfunctional family there, man.
Exactly. But right now in the current comic series, Wolverine, or Logan, is considered dead, and Laura has taken over the mantle of Wolverine too. I read a couple books. They're pretty decent, so I'm totally okay with that. Now, according to the Wrap, the kind of storyline behind all this is that a government-type operation called Transigen is turning mutant children into killing machines, which kind of fits the storyline of X-23 as well with that. Now, another thing we heard is that Mr. Sinister was said to be a villain in the film. Now, according to the Wrap, they're actually debunking this rumor as well, saying that Mr. Sinister is not going to be in the film, so don't quite know about that. Anyway, the film stars Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Richard E. Grant, and a few other people. Comes out March 3rd, 2017. Josh, as the big Wolverine fan, let me know what you thought about the poster, the name, all this stuff.
Well, of course I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm a little sad. A part of me, this is the last film that we're going to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, so it's kind of getting wrapped up. I keep thinking Old Man Logan, so I'm super excited. I know that storyline, but I can't see. But I'm thinking Old Man Logan as Logan has a family. Yeah. Logan is trying to settle down, trying to get, and I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking Patrick Stewart's probably going to be more like a mentor for him. He's going to be this.
He's always been a kind of a mentor character,
and I feel like we're going to have that full throttle. So I for a while there, I was picturing Logan and Xavier going on adventures together, but then the more I think about it, I'm like, it's going to be a little bit more. I don't want to set myself up for that disappointment. it's probably going to be more of
and they did a picture too of Patrick Stewart where he looked like really old as well too.
Yeah,
because it's set in the future.
He is really old.
And they were talking about some of the storylines I've talked about, which everything I hear about this movie, it makes me, they say it's loosely based on Old Man Logan, but then everything I hear about this story makes it seem like it's not Old Man Logan at all. But yeah, they're talking about, how they're Wolverine and Professor X are kind of older, and they kind of touched on the consequences of a powerful psychic like Professor Xavier getting older, like say dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that.
Oh, man.
What happens when someone that powerful of a psychic loses control of his powers, at that older age? And people are thinking, well, maybe, Wolverine has become his kind of caretaker, kind of watching over him a little bit, possibly having to take him out if, the occasion calls for it.
What? I hope not, man. I mean, I don't know. That's what I was thinking about, too, is like the villain. We have no idea who the villain is. They're doing a great job of keeping this under wraps. Part of me doesn't want to know.
Do you think it'll be Sinister at all, or
no? I don't believe so.
I thought he fit because when they were talking about, especially from the end of X-Men Apocalypse, when they teased the Essex Corp, taking Wolverine's blood.
Yeah.
So it teased to me one Sinister as the villain, but also it did set up X-23. I felt because
True.
she is a clone of Wolverine, so it would make sense that the government organization that is turning mutants into killing machines and the creation of X-23 would fit with Mr. Sinister because he is a geneticist and he likes to mess around and clone people and stuff like that. So it does fit. I think he's a better villain to put in an actual X-Men film, though.
Right.
Maybe tease him a little bit in this. I don't know. I do like the addition of X-23. Again, just reading the comics, I think she's a good way to go with it. And honestly, I think she's the next transition from Hugh Jackman. Now, I know this film is supposed to take place in the future, from what I've heard. So her as a little girl, you can't take her back and put her in the regular X-Men. Or can you? I mean, there is that mutant known as Cable who likes to time travel and can probably take people with him. But in any event...
Do you know how complicated that would be?
Did you listen last week? Because after I was listening to the X-Men Apocalypse commentary, and I talked about how that's where people got the hint that Sinister was going to be in Logan. But when I listened to the commentary, I didn't hear that at all. What I heard was Bryan Singer talk about how he wanted to use a certain mutant and give him a certain look, but he couldn't because they had plans for him in Deadpool. And I'm like, to me, that immediately thought of Cable.
Yeah.
To me, because we know he's going to be in
that
Deadpool.
Connection.
But anyway, X-23, that's the thing. People are like, oh, who's going to play the next Wolverine? Who's going to replace Hugh Jackman? Let's not replace Hugh Jackman. Let's not replace Wolverine. Let's bring in, like the comics, X-23 to be the new Wolverine. You have a teenage girl, okay, that could be a whole new aspect to the Wolverine title, as opposed to just trying to find another Logan, really.
Dude, I agree. As thinking on more like the marketing standpoint,
bring in that girl audience.
Yeah, well, and it's a perfect timing for that with Rey from Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
A lot of Rogue One.
Female power.
A lot of female power is being blown right now. So.
Instead of just trying to find out, like who's gonna, like they said, who's gonna be the next James Bond, who's gonna be the next Batman, who's gonna be the next Wolverine. I'm not saying there should never be another Logan or another Wolverine, but let's take a break from the character, bring in this other character who's going to bring a whole new aspect to it, who's like Wolverine, but not really Wolverine, and just, give it a different slant, take a break from this character who has been at the center of, 7 X-Men films or whatever, and, take a break and bring him back later on. Especially in the comics, remember, Wolverine did not come in till Giant-Size X-Men after X-Men had been out for a while. X-Men Apocalypse, we got introduced to the young X-Men, Cyclops, Jean, Storm. Let's have, say, the next X-Men film with them and maybe X-23, and then another film or two down the line. Then let's bring Wolverine back as a different actor.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see, but that's just me, of course. What do I know? I've only been reading X-Men my whole life.
He's only been thinking about this.
I think way too much about this, if you ask my wife, so... Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add to the Wolverine film?
As far as the lead female man, I get a little excited thinking about an angry woman with claws.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Honestly,
how many women are going to be able to relate to the anger issues?
I know we talked about Amber being like Elektra for Halloween. I could definitely see her being X-23 too.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Like that's her favorite number for the most part.
I could see her doing that. She has the look. The dark hair and stuff like that.
Well, next costume idea for you.
There we go. There's your Halloween costume. All right. So moving on. A couple more pieces of Marvel news. Oscar winner Forrest Whitaker has boarded Black Panther. That's right. He's going to play Zuri, who is an old friend of T'Challa's father and goes on to mentor T'Challa as well when his father passes away. Now, he's going to be joining a stellar cast that includes Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, and Lupita Nyong'o as well. People are kind of centering on this film because it's directed by a black man, Ryan Coogler, who did Fruitvale Station and the recent Creed film, and also is an entirely black cast as well. So people are kind of looking this to be a staple for the Marvel Universe as far as diversity as well. Now, a couple of people that are going to be added to this film as well. You got the guy known as Duke, who's going to play M'Baku. I totally said that wrong. A.k.a. the Man-Ape. He's a leader of a rival tribe in the comics who frequently tries to seize control of Wakanda from T'Challa. Now, you're also going to see the return of Ayo. Now, that was the girl who in Civil War tried to stare down Black Widow. Remember? Okay, that woman.
Oh, yeah.
So she is a member of the group of bodyguards who actually are to protect T'Challa, which, given the fact that he's, can take care of himself, just think what his bodyguards can do. If he can take care of himself, they're supposed to be better than he is. So you can only imagine what they're going to be like. So, anyway, Forrest Whitaker's character was introduced in 1998 in Black Panther #1, and it's kind of an old, like I said, warrior companion who I'm sure is going to serve as kind of the mentor or father figure for Chadwick Boseman in this film. Black Panther comes out February 16th, 2018. What do you think about,
Forrest
Whitaker, or just the film in general?
I'm excited, dude. I mean, I love Creed, so I love the director they got for this movie. The fact that
I think I like what he's doing.
It means to me, I feel like you're gonna get some culture to this film. You're gonna get the fun action part of it. To me, the main guy, the guy who plays Black Panther,
Chadwick Boseman, has a very James Bond, almost like an elegant feel to him when he's not in the Black Panther costume, and then he just becomes Black Panther, man. He's just he's an animal. So Forrest Whitaker, I think, is perfect for that mentor role. I totally see that. It's another infamous, black actor added to the cast. So
it's not Morgan Freeman, dude. How ecstatic are people that it's not Morgan Freeman? Because that would have been a little cheesy, especially after watching him in Ben-Hur.
Did you see Ben-Hur?
I saw as much as I could of it.
You sat through that?
I hated it, dude. Like Charlton Heston, I'm forever a big fan of that original masterpiece. I can't believe you saw that movie. So did we see Black Panther's father killed in Civil War?
Yeah, he was at the beginning. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what kind of created that.
That's why he was hunting Winter Soldier, because he thought he killed his father.
That's right. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I like, of course, Forrest Whitaker being added to this film. He's an Oscar-winning actor, so no duh, that's awesome. With this film, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it, because first off, you have Chadwick Boseman's character T'Challa that we saw in Civil War was different. He was on a vendetta to avenge his father's death. He finally learned the truth, came to peace with it. I think they have a really opportunity to show a storyline as far as his father just died. The king of Wakanda, one of the most powerful nations in the world, just died, and now T'Challa has to take that mantle. He has to become king, okay? Yeah. That's kind of, I feel like, what they should do. Hopefully that's where they're going, where this prince becomes the king and, has to fend off all those looking to challenge his rule, such as Man-Ape. There was another Black Panther motion animated comic as well. I know it was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. Really, if you want to get an idea for Black Panther as well, Ultimate Avengers 2, the animated movie, that focuses heavily on Black Panther, also has Man-Ape in there, so that's something you could check out, again, to get a better grasp of the character as well. With this, of course, it's all about, the black cast, the black director, the diversity and stuff like that. Now, having one of the only people here in this room that have seen Luke Cage, okay, I kind of credit it because it is almost an entirely black cast. It's very deep in Harlem roots. It talks frequently about black history in America. It brings up Black Lives Matter as well. It's very, people are focusing on Black Panther because it's a major motion picture, but I love what Luke Cage has done in, trying to speak to the African American community as well, and the issues they're facing, and, trying to bring out that diversity too. So, but Black Panther, like I said, it's up on the big screen, so it's getting a little more attention than what Luke Cage got.
Hey, at least Marvel is successful enough to be able to touch notes like these, like with their material. Yeah. Freaking DC is over there still trying to get Justice League right, and they're not even worried about touching political issues right now.
Exactly right.
They're still trying to make a good Batman film or a good superhero movie when Marvel's doing so well. They can touch
that's the thing.
Things.
Well, that's the
problem. And do it in a subtle and classy way, I think.
Yeah, I could get into the fact that they're still trying to catch up, and that's their problem, but we won't get into that.
But yeah, you got to give it to Marvel and their ability to do this and touch notes that are, regardless of what you think, there are issues right now, man. There's a lot of that,
Yeah.
You got Kaepernick taking a knee now, and so you got all kinds of stuff going on. It's great that we are starting to dabble into that.
Exactly.
With some of our movies
they're integrated. It's not just an escapism. Like, it's just not you're going to see a blockbuster or watching a TV series. They're bringing up it's a superhero show bringing up current events,
Right.
and relevance and all that. So that's awesome. So, all right. So speaking of the Netflix shows, at New York Comic Con, they revealed a new trailer for the next Netflix Marvel series, Iron Fist. So in the trailer, we got to see Finn Jones play Danny Rand. So the official premise of this is that 15 years after being presumed dead in a plane crash, Danny Rand mysteriously returns to New York, determined to reclaim his birthright and family company. However, when a long-destined enemy rises in New York, this living weapon is forced to choose between his family's legacy and his duties as the Iron Fist. Now, Iron Fist also stars Jessica Hedwig as Colleen Wig. You got Carrie Ann Moss from Jessica Jones coming back to play a role. Rosario Dawson's coming back to play Claire. And then we have the Misty Knight as well from Luke Cage, who's going to be in it too. They just announced also last week that it is going to be released March 17th, St. Patty's Day, 2017. I was so excited when they said March 17th.
It's like they know your schedule.
I immediately, okay, I love my St. Patty's. I immediately went to work and requested that day and the day off. So St. Patty's Day this next year, I'm going to be drinking and watching Iron Fist, and that's going to be awesome.
Hungover, eating some great meal, and watching some Iron Fist.
Exactly.
Dude. Watching some, that's an understatement. You're probably going to finish it in a day.
All right, so before we go into the trailer, I got a little beef I'm going to throw down here, okay? So my college buddy Griffey, who's a big movie guy, lives in LA, he has his own podcast called The Long Box Sessions, which I listen to. I support him just like hopefully he supports me. To be honest, I think they're a little better at this than we are. The only thing is they're usually a little negative. Like they talked about Luke Cage and they said, oh yeah, I liked it. But then they spent their whole podcast talking about the things they didn't like about it. And that's just kind of how they go. And I've been kind of challenging them on Iron Fist a little bit because with Iron Fist there was that controversy where like, why didn't they, cast an Asian guy for this martial arts show? And I'm like, has nobody read Iron Fist? And then of course they went into nobody's read Iron Fist and everyone's excited and how people are they say they're the experts on everything when something new comes out. How like people said they always loved Guardians of the Galaxy, but really nobody knew Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie came out. Anyway, so I'm kind of challenging with this. Now, Iron Fist is one of my favorite Marvel characters. I will say though, I'm not a long time reader, I guess. I don't know the older stuff. I jumped in at the Immortal Iron Fist, which is what a lot of people know him from. A lot of people love. The new series, Iron Fist, The Living Weapon, I'm not a big fan of. I do like the new Power Man in Iron Fist, which is Luke Cage and Iron Fist together. So that's pretty decent if you want to check out something that's going on right now. So I'm a fan of him, and I'm not an expert on everything. I will say that. But these guys on the Long Box section keep giving me shit because they're like, yeah, they should have done an Asian guy because nobody cares about the character. And I'm just like, look, okay, the whole point of this is that Danny Rand, as a child, gets rescued and gets surrounded by these Asian guys, and they pick on him because he is a white kid, he's different, and they think he's not as good as a martial artist, who he goes on to be the top of his class and earns the power of the Iron Fist next to everyone else. And I told them, I was like, look, yeah, he's white, but really, he could be black, he could be French, he could be albino, whatever, I don't care. But as long as he wasn't Asian was the whole point of this.
Right.
So the whole thing about, I'm like, to cast an Asian actor for this kung fu show, to me, that would have been stereotypical, in my opinion. So to me, it's about the fact that he was different and, having to overcome all that as well. So these guys have been giving me shit about it. So I had to come back at them on my show and say, guys, I get your point. I get how they get frustrated because people say, oh yeah, I've always loved Guardians. I've always loved Iron Fist, when really nobody knows the characters. I get it. I get that point. And here I am going to declare, yes, I still don't know a lot. I haven't read everything Iron Fist, but I love Immortal Iron Fist. I love the character. I see the potential for him. So guys, get off my ass, okay? Okay.
And I'm over here looking at the Iron Fist character, and I'm like, he's a white guy. He's a white guy. It's a white dude. I mean, and honestly, I like what you said about him overcoming adversity. And I mean,
it's not about him being. They could cast a black guy for all I care,
right?
As long as he wasn't. As long as he looked different. Like, if you made all the people of Kowloon, the Mystic City, if you made them, I don't know, freaking African and he was Asian, okay, that's fine. He just has to be different than everyone else.
But it adds something as a person who doesn't know Iron Fist very well at all. I'm new to the character. As a viewer, that's an appealing note. The fact that he's put into this element where it's not his element, it's not his world. That is, I'm a Batman fan, so I love the underdog.
Yeah.
I love the fact
you love your billionaires
and overcoming adversity. So I mean, that's an appealing note for me to see that. I mean, if it would have been Asian, you're right. It would have been like, okay, well, can he beat up Bruce Lee? I don't know. I mean, the whole time we'll be comparing him to Bruce Lee.
Well,
so
we'll see about that. But okay, so getting to the actual trailer again, as a person who doesn't know the character very well, what did you think of this Iron Fist trailer?
The fists look cool. First off, the fists look cool, and I was worried. Like had no idea how they were gonna, I guess, put that into a real environment. There was a little bit of a cheese factor there for me, though. It's a little, but I think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of because Daredevil's so dark. Jessica Jones is so such a dark story. I hope that Iron Fist is gonna bring a little bit of that. I don't know what the best way to put it, like that classic superhero vibe to it.
So the character is very kind of
not so much a vigilante, but he's a superhero.
I mean, he's got actual powers.
Yeah, and Luke could be that guy, but he's so dark. Jessica Jones could be that girl, and to give you that vibe, but it's such a dark story.
They're so mopey.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope that Iron Fist brings that cheery kind of, not too much, but I'm thinking he's going to bring in more of that. When they're all together, it's going to be balanced. It's going to be a balanced team.
So the character himself, from what I've read of him, of course, because I'm not the expert, but from what I've read of him, he's a jokey character. Like it's him and Luke Cage that are paired together. They're best friends, and they both kind of crack jokes, but he's more of, he cracks more jokes, really.
Right.
I always compare him to, if you're comparing comic book billionaires, okay? People are always looking at Batman and Tony Stark, I guess. And then you have Green Arrow, and then you have Iron Fist, and they're all comic book billionaires. I would put him much more in the category of a Green Arrow, kind of, because the Green Arrow we see on Arrow isn't Green Arrow from the comics, okay? He's a more funny character who likes to crack jokes a little bit, and that's what Iron Fist does from what I've read of the character.
Okay.
So, really, when you say you put the Defenders together, yeah, you have the mopier characters. Daredevil's not that, bad.
He's your sense of hope,
Jessica
almost.
Jones, Luke Cage, and then you have Iron Fist. Like, say you have the Justice League where Flash, you expect Flash to be the more funny character.
Right.
That's what I think Iron Fist is going to be. He's going to be that guy who breaks the tension, who's going to be the comic relief a little bit.
Yeah.
He's still a serious character.
Right, I don't want to say comic relief, but he's...
I don't want to use that word because he's not just a hokey character, but he is known to crack jokes, kind of like Spider-Man. Spider-Man likes to tease his villains as he fights them and crack jokes. That's kind of, what he does as well a little bit.
And I'm very curious on how his dialogue will be throughout the series. They don't show much of that in the series, in the trailer. The trailer, it's very serious. It's all about almost like he's meditating throughout the whole trailer. So it's very calm. It's very like we're just getting you a glimpse of he is.
He's just coming back from doing this whole traumatic experience, all that other stuff. I can see this first season. I don't think is going to be, like I said, he cracks jokes. I don't think he's going to crack a lot of jokes. Really, because he's going to be dealing with a lot of stuff in this first season. But I think when it comes to the Defenders, which is what comes next, he's going to be, again, the guy who makes more joke compared to everyone else.
I want to ask you, since you seem pretty good at predicting this stuff, like you did with Daredevil.
No, I am not. But go ahead.
But no joke. You're pretty damn accurate. Do you think we'll see the green costume this season 1?
No, I don't know, man. I mean, they make it a point to try to, give him a little bit of costume. Like, in Luke Cage, there's like a 20-second scene or whatever where he puts on the classic Luke Cage yellow shirt, silver bracelets and headband, just to kind of touch on it. I can see them doing that where they don't give him the full green outfit like you see up above here, but they can they kind of have him put it on for like maybe 1 minute and then he takes it off or something like that. I can see that. So the actual trailer is kind of, we saw the classic, we saw the glowing arm, which in the comic it's almost like his hand's on fire, really. Yeah. It looks like this. I don't know if he's actually going to catch on fire or if it's just going to be a glowing hand. I don't know how they'll do that. We saw, of course, the classic tattoo on his chest. Looked kind of cheesy in my opinion, but oh well. But kind of the cool thing, this is what I saw with Daredevil Season 2, was when you brought in the hand and the ninjas.
Yeah.
And that kind of getting that more mystical element into the Netflix Marvel world. To me, when I saw all that in Daredevil, I immediately thought of Iron Fist because you're getting, Luke Cage is a man of science and Jessica Jones, I forget exactly how she got her powers. I don't know why. But there's a way to explain all that. Now you're getting into magic, okay?
Yeah.
Much like Doctor Strange. You're getting into the mystical realm of this universe, okay? And that's, to me, that signifies something different. Something you really have to pull the audience into because much like with the Marvel movies, they had to build up to Guardians of the Galaxy. They had to build up to Doctor Strange. These more far out concepts, really.
Yeah.
So now that you've got Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, you couldn't do Iron Fist in the first one.
Right. I totally feel that.
You had to build up to it in that.
Yeah.
And so speaking of Daredevil Season 2, one of the people that we saw in this trailer was Madame Gao, the old Chinese lady.
Yeah.
So again, that's going to tie it back to Daredevil. Again, I think we're going to see the hand, honestly, in this because Iron Fist is known for fighting that organization as well. Overall, just as a fan of the character, I'm excited to see him. Iron Fist and Daredevil being two of my favorite Marvel characters. I was excited to hear that they're both going to be on the Defenders. And Defenders as well, I'm excited for it. Not as excited, but I don't know. We'll see where it goes. The Netflix series has not let me down yet. None of them have been bad. So in that aspect, I'm excited.
In Marvel, we trust, man.
And Kevin Feige, we trust, even though he now has nothing to do with the Marvel TV shows.
Oh.
Actually, it was a deal. It went down. Basically, it's Jeff Loeb, who's executive producing all the Netflix and Marvel shows and stuff like that. So anyway, all right, guys. So speaking of the Defenders, after they showed the Iron Fist trailer at New York Comic Con, Jeff Loeb came out and announced the villain for the Defenders series. After they brought out all 4 actors who are going to be in the Defenders, they announced the villain. It's none other than Sigourney Weaver. So the Alien alumni is going to be the main villain in the Defenders series. We still don't know what character she's going to play. However, there is some kind of speculation that she might play the character Mephisto, who is the demon lord of Marvel's Hell. So just to give you a little bit of a background on this, in the comics he's depicted as male, but there's nothing in the character that mentions that it should be a male as well. And the character was also mentioned in a recent episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. by Ghost Rider. Now, Weaver went on to tease a month or two ago about how she had been watching the Marvel movies and said, quote, "I've been watching, for whatever reason, some Marvel movies, and they cast really good actors," which we all know at that point was mean. She already signed the deal, and she was teasing that she was going to be in something Marvel-esque.
Nice.
So there you have that. So Sigourney Weaver, Ripley herself, going to be the villain. I'm ecstatic about it. She's a great actress, a sci-fi alumni. I think she's going to do a good job. I'm curious what character she's going to be. I can see her playing more of a business type character, really, rather than more of a hell dimension character, I guess you would call it.
But I definitely think she could execute it.
She could execute it well.
Yeah.
It could be kind of like I picture it more of like a Al Pacino from The Devil's Advocate, where he's the devil, but he looks human, of course. He does all these fireworks and stuff like that. I'm like, it could be like that.
It's one of my favorite movies. But no, I definitely, I see that. My imagination, I hope they try to do something more, I guess, on the creative side of with her. But she's a great actress, man, and she seems ageless, dude. She still looks exactly the same. And dude, I think she'll be a good villain.
Definitely a good villain. I like, and again, you're bringing all these characters together. You got to give them a good threat. Just like when you brought all the Avengers together to fight a really big threat that none of them could handle by themselves. You got to bring these street level characters together to fight, a character who's not. She doesn't need to be on like the level of like a Loki or an Ultron. She needs to be something, because that's the nice thing is that these Netflix characters are a little more grounded. They face off against, street thugs and crime lords and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're not fighting aliens or whatever. So she needs to be a character that's within their reach.
And that must be difficult as writers. Like, okay, this is our limit. We can't go to Thanos. We can't go outer limits, outer space, but we can use other dimensions and other
it's,
worlds.
and that's kind of the thing too.
Like, where's the limit? You know what I mean? Like, that's hard to figure
Exactly.
out.
Like, let's say people are like, oh, we want the Netflix characters in Avengers Infinity War. And I'm like, okay, first off, if you put any of those Netflix characters, put Daredevil. Take Daredevil against Thanos, okay? Thanos would crush him in a second, okay? Because, yeah, he has the super senses, but he's still just human, okay? Yeah, Luke Cage has impenetrable skin and he's strong, but he's not Thor. He's not the Hulk strong, okay?
Yeah.
Those guys are on, a different level as well. Yeah. So bringing them into Infinity War, I'm not a big fan of. Let's keep them, at their level. Let's keep it a little more, again, relatable, and give them a foe that's going to be, good for them.
Yeah,
really.
That's a tough task ahead of them to write an entertaining story with.
Yeah,
and you're not doing the Avengers.
It'll be good though, man. I'm telling you, got to get on Luke Cage though.
Yeah,
Luke Cage. You got to do that. I know you started Flash season 2.
Yep.
You're liking it so far?
Man, I love it, dude. I mean, it's like I picked up right where season 1 left off, and I just hate that it took so long for Netflix to get season 2, but it's here.
Hey.
We've already got dipped right into it. It's
oh my
great,
God.
Man.
I will tell you though, as soon as you finish season 2, you're going to be dripping for season 3. And luckily, like I said, they took the CW superhero shows off of Hulu, but they put them on the CW app, which is free. So literally, as soon as you're done with season 2, go to the CW app, and you can immediately start watching season 3,
which is airing now.
It's airing right now. Like I'm in the middle of episode 2 right now of season 3 of The Flash.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
But you got to make sure, because I think they only keep 5 episodes on there at a time. So you got to finish season 2 within like 4 weeks or so. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to watch that first episode. So,
Damn it.
So anyway,
going on right now.
So do that, and then you get to Luke Cage. So, all right, guys. So stepping up on Marvel, since we're doing that, and jumping over to the DC. So to commemorate the final day of filming of Justice League in the UK, Zack Snyder came out during Comic-Con and released a behind-the-scenes featurette of Justice League, showing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, a lot of filming in front of green screens, wire work, stuff like that. The featurette's running about 1.5 minutes long, and in it we get to see glimpses of the Justice League crew together. We get to see Batman or Ben Affleck doing some flying and in his tactical gear and all this other stuff, practical effects, all that jazz too. So kind of another nugget of what we're going to get with the Justice League. The film comes out November 17th, 2017, directed by Zack Snyder, stars Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Amy Adams, Jeremy Irons, Jason Momoa, all those guys. Anyway,
Eisenberg is Lex Luthor going to be?
He's going to be in it. Yeah, he's going to be in it as well. So, all right. So the featurette. What did you think about it, Josh? Did it get you more excited for Justice League at all? I guess.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It was cool to see the back behind the stage. It wasn't anything that I hadn't seen already. Unfortunately. It does make me super curious about this Flash character, man. I mean, especially I guess maybe because I'm watching season 2 right now. And that's what I'm saying, man. We are so that movie has so much against it right now. Yeah.
Like I said earlier, when they announced it and they talked about it, because you already have a Flash on the CW, which people love, and he's going to be. I don't get why they made Barry Allen. They couldn't have just made Wally West. They had to make Barry Allen.
Yeah.
And exactly. And
it's like Barry Allen's relatable, but not the actor. Not the actor who's playing him on television. Yeah, so let's use Barry Allen.
Exactly. I don't get it. So plus the fact that with the speed kind of movie effects of speed, Quicksilver from X-Men, people love what they've done with Quicksilver and showing his speed powers. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't show him anything new there because Quicksilver nailed that. You can't really show him anything. Then you're going to be compared to Barry Allen as far as character arc from the show. I mean, it's got everything against it.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for it because I love Ezra Miller and I like The Flash, but it's going to be an uphill battle to give us something we can really sink our teeth into that we haven't seen from the character.
Right. Yeah, I'm well said, sir. Well said.
And even in season 3 of The Flash, like I'm watching episodes, and of course, it's a hit show, so their budget's getting better, but the special effects are better too, I think, as the show goes on.
I've noticed that already with season 2. They show more speedster scenes, and it's great, man.
Yeah, because they got a bigger budget because it's a show, so there you go.
But overall,
Justice League,
yeah, man, it's going to be, I'm stoked for the movie itself. I just not a big fan of Zack Snyder anymore.
So, to me, the standout was Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
I heard he's a lot of fun, on set. You see him him twirling the trident. Oh my God, that's what stood out to me, and that's because I'm an Aquaman fan, okay? And him twirling the trident, I'm like, is he gonna kick some ass with that trident?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Then he pulls and he drops it, and he pulls out Wonder Woman's sword and kind of runs off. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like they're having a lot of, and that's kind of what I think DC is still on damage report from Batman v Superman. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why they allowed all those journalists onto the set and allowed them to talk about it immediately, as opposed to sitting on it for a year like most set visits are.
Right.
Okay, they show the featurette, they show the trailer. They're trying to get people to stop talking about how bad Batman v Superman was, or maybe how disappointing Suicide Squad was, and they want to turn the conversation to Justice League and try to get people excited about that.
Look how much fun we're having.
Exactly, and that's just it. People say that the DC movies have been droopy and dark or whatever, so they want to let people know, hey, we're having fun. And that's kind of the from what we heard of Warner Brothers executives and DC executives such as Jeff Johns, they're turning the page and trying to set a new tone for the movies. And I believe that. From what I've seen, it looks like they're trying their best. Whether they succeed or not, we'll just have to wait and see on November 17th. So,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so moving on, more DC news. Wonder Woman made her big screen debut for the first time ever this year in Batman v Superman. And now it looks like the creator of Wonder Woman is getting his own movie as well. It looks like Sony Pictures are set their sights on making a movie about Dr. William Moulton Marston. Now, Marston was the creator of Wonder Woman and a psychologist. The name of the film is called Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman. It's going to be set about Marston, who is a Harvard psychologist and inventor who created the famed DC character along with his wife Elizabeth, and about their relationship with a former student of his named Olive Bryn. Luke Evans from Dracula Untold and Furious 7 is going to play Marston. Rebecca Hall from Iron Man 3 is going to be his wife. And then you have Bella Heathcote. I don't know. She was in Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I guess she's going to be in as well. So this is all according to Deadline. So kind of what the story about it is that Wonder Woman became one of the most iconic figures in comic history, but there was a controversy surrounding it when Marston created the character in fear from a part of society during the time that thought Wonder Woman would turn young girls into lesbians. Okay, and then because of that also there was that side note with him and his wife's relationship with this young woman as well, and their kind of sexual relationship that all three of them had together too. So it's kind of going to be the basis of it all, and how the exposure kind of destroyed their lives, but also Wonder Woman took a hit as well. So apparently filming just started last week on the movie. I didn't even know about this movie until last week, so I guess they're filming it already. Going to be directed by How to Get Away with Murder and True Blood TV veteran Angela Robinson. So there you go.
Interesting. That's pretty cool.
It's okay. So I first learned about this story in the Batman v Superman special feature they had about Wonder Woman. I didn't know that the creator of Wonder Woman was a psychologist who had kind of challenged himself, or was challenged by other people, to create the first female superhero, and how people looked down at him, thought it was silly, thought it was stupid, how his wife encouraged him, and they really wanted to talk about, at the time, the feminist movement as well. So from that special feature, I thought, wow, that'd be an interesting story to tell. And lo and behold, they're making the movie.
Yeah, I can't help but think of like a Stephen Hawking's. You know how great that movie was.
The Theory of Everything.
Theory of Everything.
That'd be cool.
Because it's going to be around that same time period. I feel like.
30s, I believe. Yeah, is what it's going to be.
So it makes me excited thinking about that. I hope it's a serious film. I hope it. The fact that I'm in a psychology class right now, so that's kind of cool. That the fact that I didn't know that. You should
ask your teacher about that.
Exactly, I probably will. One thing I will say. When the news broke out, and this, forgive me going aside here, but that Wonder Woman is going to, that her sexual orientation...
Sexuality was in question, yes.
That it will be promoted, I guess right, in the movie. All the girls I live with were like, hell yeah, definitely, like, that's awesome, you know, like, they were stoked about it. So, I think this movie, in general, will have a lot of support, man, especially in today's society. Women are... I don't know if it'll necessarily turn them into lesbians, but it'll definitely empower them. Sure.
Like I said, the Greg Rucka, the current writer of Wonder Woman, said, how can you live in a society full of nothing but women and not have, those tendencies to just gravitate towards relationships, to just latch on to someone like that?
Yeah.
and it makes sense. My fear with this is that, of course, they're talking about basically the affair with this other woman and his wife and stuff like that, which I know is going to be the center point of it. I'm just curious what it's going to do to the brand. The brand of Wonder Woman, she's in the front and center now. She's in the movies. I'm curious what the brand of Wonder Woman, what's going to happen to her now that she, her sexuality is in question, and this story about, her creator, controversial story, is coming to life as well.
Right.
I don't know. Of course, conservative Christians and all that were already up in arms about Greg Rucka coming out saying that she's bisexual. I imagine what are they going to say about this, the icon of female superheroism when they realized the creator was polygamous and all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So of course you're gonna have your people who hate on it, and I think you're also gonna have your people who absolutely love it, who are absolutely on board, who are just open-minded to it, and we're gonna they're gonna take it for what it is, and which I just can't help but think about the women I'm living with now. They're excited for it, man. They're stoked, and they love the character. And if anything, it added more interest into the character. Yeah. Nobody has talked about Wonder Woman. I have posters all over my house. And the minute that news broke out, guess who's all about the movie? Now who wants to see the movie? I have a group who wants to go see the movie now. So I think you'll have both. You'll have people who, you'll have your people who are raged.
You take every opportunity to mention that you live with a bunch of women. I swear to God.
Absolutely, dude. What can I say? I'm Bruce Wayne.
Okay, so this is interesting, though, because a couple weeks ago they said they're making a Stan Lee biopic film, but it's like a fantasy slant. Like, did you hear about that?
No.
So basically, they're making a Stan Lee film, but it's going to be like a fantasy where like he's a secret agent at night and a comic book writer at the beginning during the day, and he uses his adventures as a spy to inspire his characters that like Spider-Man and the Hulk and all that. And I'm just like, okay, it could be fun, but I'd much rather see a straight up Stan Lee biop, as opposed to something like this.
Yeah.
And I talked about this when Lisa and I talked about the Stan Lee biop. Is a few years ago when Lisa and I took a trip back up to Chicago, we like to listen to the audiobooks and stuff like that. And I had a History of Superman one that we listened to, and about Joel Shuster and Jerry Siegel, the creators, and their story of creating Superman and how they fought almost their entire lives afterwards to try to regain control of Superman because they sold the rights to DC for literally nothing.
Damn.
And they made so much, DC made so much money, and they were in poverty, actually, those two creators, who created the first superhero, the greatest superhero as well.
Wow, I didn't know
and that whole story, since then, I think I want to see this story. So Wonder Woman, I hope this movie takes off because I hope it then inspires a story about the Superman creators as well.
I see that.
Especially with, again, comic books, movies being so popular right now. Let's learn about the story behind them,
Yeah.
Let's learn about the trauma that these writers had to go through to create these characters.
Hopefully that's the next bubble, man. Hopefully, we're, not only are we getting the superhero movies, we're getting the great biopics about their writers and the extraordinary stories and feats they
exactly, man. I hope. All right, so we're running a little long, but there's still a lot of stuff we got to go through. So I'm going to go ahead and skip the Batman animated storyline unless you want to talk about it at all.
No, you're good.
Okay, so basically, so the Batman Return of the Cape, Batman Return of the Cape Crusaders, the animated film about Batman 66 came out. I haven't watched it yet. I plan on watching it soon. You plan on watching it soon?
Yeah.
Okay. They said at Comic-Con there's going to be a sequel with Two-Face, and William Shatner, Captain Kirk himself, is going to be voicing it. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Okay, so skipping off of DC news, we're going to miscellaneous news. I did want to talk about the Doctor Who trailer that came out, the Christmas special, but as you know, neither one of us watched Doctor Who, and I forgot to ask Lourdes to come on the show, so I'm sorry, guys. You know how I like to try to include everything, and that's why I have different guest stars on the show, but I forgot to ask her about it, so we can just skip that, and I'll try to get it later on, okay? I apologize.
Those millions of Doctor Who fans are going to be angry.
I apologize. But luckily, we have a Walking Dead fan here because I do not like Walking Dead.
Yep.
Josh does. Josh, fill us in on Walking Dead. What's to come? What's going on? How do you feel about what's to come? I'm going to let you take the mic. I'm going to sit back and drink my coffee.
Well, this past week, we just got a new trailer from Comic-Con, and the trailer was awesome, man. It was a slow trailer, but it was just a conversation between the Negan himself and our beloved leader, Rick. And you see, the trailer starts off with, of course, Rick's on his knees. This has just happened after the season finale. It's picking up right where it left off, and there's blood on Rick's face. Negan, there's a conversation. Negan's right up in his grill, and
right up in his grill.
And you can just tell Rick is just mortified. He's ready to attack. But at the same time, we're seeing a different Rick. Rick is calm. He is looking Negan in the eye and basically tells him, I'm going to kill you. Not today, not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but you will die by my hands. And I love Negan's reaction to that, man. Negan, Jeffrey Morgan Dean, the character...
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Excuse me, I forget. The actor who plays Negan is exceptional, man. I think he's absolutely nailing the character.
He's a great actor, yeah.
Those of you who watch Watchmen, I love the way he portrayed a comedian.
Well, then those who watch Grey's Anatomy, too. You know.
Oh, God. On that note.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think those two, I can't wait to see more of those two on screen together, man. They're bouncing off each other. It's witty. It's the charismatic. And scary at the same time. I have no idea where Walking Dead is going to pick off. The big question, of course, is
who dies?
Who died? Who's taking the in there of Lucille? And by the way, you see Lucille just bloodied and just completely covered in blood. Of course, all the barbed wire. And then at the end of the trailer, they do show as Rick is being dragged in by Negan into the trailer. You think they're about to have a little showdown or a little chit chat. They zoom in on a pile of blood, and it looks like a little bit of brain. But
wait, see, they're trying to hint that Rick is the one that gets hit, or
they're trying to hint that somebody did die.
Okay, so as he pulls him in, they go to like the ground shot,
exactly.
And
you see the pile of blood where Rick was next to.
Okay,
so obviously somebody next to Rick got their brains battered.
So who do you think it is?
I think it's Glenn, man.
Huh?
I think it's Glenn.
I've heard that, actually. I've heard that's a prevailing theory.
They keep saying it's not going to be like the comic books. It's not, but I think that's just to, smoke and screens just to kind of get us away from what is probably the truth. The truth is our beloved Glenn will be gone. I've also seen hints that he's been doing other things as well. I think he's in Voltron now. He's been doing a lot of voice acting.
Oh, is he? Okay.
But yeah, we're
going to get to that, kids.
But yeah, so unfortunately, I think it's Glenn. But either way, I'm super ecstatic about the season. The fact that they're bringing Negan in, I think it's going to be exactly what the show needed. And I think it's going to get us back to what the show's about. Apocalypse. Zombies. And I honestly feel like Negan brings like that, almost not like just a step up of a villain that we needed. We've been dealing with other normal guys. Negan's something different, man. So.
Well, one thing like I said, I don't like Walking Dead. I watched a couple episodes. I respect it as a show. There are a lot of shows that I watch that, I just don't watch because I don't have the time. I got to pick and choose. And, Walking Dead is one of those shows that I get why people like it. I respect it. I just, I have other things that I like more, so I got to sacrifice something on it. One thing I will give it credit for what I feel like it does, instead of it being just like, oh, they're being chased by zombies, it's about the story about how people survive in a zombie apocalypse and what they do to each other and how they act against each other when they're just trying to survive as well.
Yeah.
So,
October 23rd.
Okay, there we go, guys.
October
so
23rd.
Hey, maybe I know you got your busy schedule, but maybe you can come back and talk the premiere with us when it pops up. So okay, cool. All right, guys. So moving off of Walking Dead, we're gonna go into some more supernatural killer stuff. Screen Gems and Lakeshore Entertainment released a new trailer for their film Underworld: Blood Wars. It's the 5th film of the Underworld franchise, and Kate Beckinsale is of course back as Selene. Theo James returns as David, and then we got a couple new people coming in. Tobias Menzies, Laura Pulver, and then Charles Dance from Game of Thrones is coming in and playing some vampires and werewolves as well. Now this one, Anna Forrester, who is a fresh director, is coming in for her first gig. She's previously done episodes of Criminal Minds and Outlander. She's best known for being a cinematographer on movies such as Independence Day, The Day After Tomorrow, and White House Down. This movie comes out January 6th, 2017. Josh, I know you're not the biggest Underworld franchise fan. What did you think of the trailer? Did it want you to see it all or anything like that? Or
yeah, it made me want to see it. I mean, come on, beautiful women in leather shooting two guns, dual wielding guns here. I mean, and I mean, I've always liked the mythology that go behind.
Yeah,
the story.
It's a great mythology. That's what kind of sucks me in.
And that's exactly what sucks me in with the trailers. It still is very much about the mythology, the war between werewolves and vampires. Or excuse me, lichens. Excuse me, lichens.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm excited. It looks cool. It's got a guy who still scares the shit out of me. What's the actor's name again?
His name is Charles Dance.
Charles Dance.
He plays Tywin Lannister.
Dear Lord. That's why I refer to him as Tywin Lannister.
Tywin.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it looks cool.
Okay, cool. For me, it doesn't get my excitement anymore. I mean, it has to come down to that fourth film. Lisa and I were big fans of the franchise. The first three films we loved. And then the fourth film just shit the bed. Okay, it was so bad. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that you didn't have Scott Speedman come back to play Michael. Because to me, the franchise is about Celine and Michael and their relationship and their all that. And that fourth film, they tried to put the character of Michael in there without actually having Scott Speedman. And you could tell they were just trying to tiptoe around it. They tried to give it a new focus with her daughter. It didn't work for me. It didn't work for Lisa. And the fact that they're continuing on from there and it still sees that Scott Speedman is nowhere in sight, no thanks. Yeah. I mean, we're going to go see the movie, like I said, because right now the franchise for us is 3 out of 4, you know?
Yeah.
Which is still a good record. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be 3 out of 5 after this film. But we're going to go see it, if for nothing else, that Lisa likes Kate Beckinsale in a similar way that I like Kate Beckinsale. And anything I can do to help, push that along, I will do. So that is fine by me.
I love the way you put that.
Let's hear a couple of things. Of course, in this franchise, they're talking about Celine and how she's the key to both the lichens and the werewolves, which I totally get because in previous films, you've seen her, she was a vampire who drank the blood of the first immortal, Alexander Corvinus, and that kind of made her special among vampires as well. Of course, her daughter is a daughter of both I don't know, she's weird because, okay, we have Celine has vampire blood and special immortal blood running through her. And then you have Michael that is a mixture of vampire and lichen, which makes him. And then you have them together creating a child as well. So that child is pretty special as well. Jeez. In the fourth film, she didn't really do it for me though. But yeah. Oh well. And in this one, it looks like Celine steps up. She's got this fight on her hands where she vanishes and got this fur coat and white hair, and to me that just seems stupid.
I thought it looked kind of cool.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'm not excited about it, but of course I'll go see it because I do support the franchise. So anyway, so let's jump off of this into something that I think we're both excited about. You probably a little more than me. Lionsgate has released the first official trailer for Power Rangers. They released it at New York Comic Con. So Power Rangers follows the 5 ordinary teens who must become something extraordinary when they learn that their small town of Angel Grove and the world is on the verge of being obliterated by an alien threat. Chosen by destiny, our heroes quickly discover that they are the only ones who can save the planet. My God, that sounds cheesy. But to do so, they have to overcome their real-life issues before it's too late and band together to save the world as the Power Rangers. So, when I first saw this trailer, I immediately thought, okay, Breakfast Club meets Chronicle. Yeah. And that's the vibe I got from it. Yeah. Really, that's exactly what I got from it. The film also stars Elizabeth Banks as the evil Rita Repulsor, Bryan Cranston as their mentor Zordon, and then Bill Hader as their robot assistant Alpha 5. The film comes out March 24, 2017. Josh, I think you're more of a Power Ranger fan than I am, so I'll let you take the lead.
I cannot wait to hear the phrase, "It's morphin' time."
Okay, that is pretty cool. Yeah.
I cannot wait. I mean, I call me cheesy. I love the trailer. I got a little chilled when watching the trailer, especially there at the end when you see the power suits starting to form. I like the new take on it. Yeah, you're right. I got a little bit of the Breakfast Club. I got a little bit of that Chronicle vibe, which I love Chronicle.
Yeah.
I love the idea behind kids just running into disabilities. And that's what I like about the new take on the Power Rangers is that it's not just the power suits, and they're not just martial artists. They have strength. They have extraordinary abilities. They're pretty much superheroes. You throw in some power suits.
They're just not in suits.
It almost makes me feel like that movie Star Kid.
Yeah, that one.
You remember that?
That was
he
horrible.
finds that we find the power suit. I love movies like that, and that's the kind of vibe I hope they get with this. Is like, it's still very much a teenager film. I would call it teen film.
Yeah.
But man, it's gonna be badass, man.
So,
it's gonna be.
With me, this trailer was to introduce the characters.
Yes.
Introduce the characters and the actors in mind, because we barely saw them in their suits. We didn't see any Zords. We didn't see any monsters. This was all about, it's a teaser trailer to introduce us to these characters, and then the next trailer, I think, is where we're going to see the action.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I get. And that's the thing, too, with these 5 actors who are leading this, I have no idea who they are. I've never seen these actors or the 2 actresses in anything else.
Yeah.
They got a good supporting cast. Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa, I think is going to crush it.
I think so too. I think she's going to steal it. Just a little bit that they show her, I'm super stoked to see her take on Rita.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they're going to play Bill Cranston as Zordon. You know, because in the show they had him as that floating head.
Yeah,
is it going to be Bryan Cranston's floating head or what?
Is he going to be Breaking Bad? Or is he going to be with hair? Maybe not. No, maybe it's more of a voice. I pictured like just a voice.
Of course, a voice.
You're going to just get a voice, and that's it.
Know.
The mountain talking to you, if anything.
So in regards to previous Power Rangers films, I was getting out of Power Rangers just as the first movie came out. And I think for what Power Rangers the TV series was, that first movie was pretty decent.
Hell yeah, I still watch that movie, dude.
I can still watch it. The second one, I've only seen bits and pieces of, and it looks like crap.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, I know since this is coming out, they compare the numbers. I guess the first Power Rangers movie was successful, and then the second one was just a complete bomb.
Yeah.
Like, it only made like $7 million or something or whatever.
And those are the tickets they sold to the production company.
Exactly. So, so maybe that first movie I was getting out of it. Like, I like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when they turned into like Turbo Power Rangers.
Yeah, I stopped watching.
No, exactly.
I lost interest.
Mighty Morphin is where they need to stay.
Yeah, and if they can capture that same classic vibe.
But they need to take it as serious. Like, this trailer seems like they're taking that serious vibe with it, which is fun. Again, Breakfast Club meets Chronicle. I'm totally fine with that because those are both good movies. So you mix 2 good movies together, that's fine by me. And you add a little bit of Voltron in there with the Zords, which I think we're going to see later on.
Don't forget Bill Hader.
I'm curious to see how they're going to do the Zords. You know, the giant. You know, they're supposed to be robot dinosaurs. That'll be interesting to see exactly. Hopefully they look better than that first Power Rangers movie, because the first Power Rangers movie, they looked like crap. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the effects, obviously, but it won't be guys in Zordon suits. It won't be like, you know how they used to. Like,
yeah, I know.
Godzilla
They look
films.
like, in the show they look like just like toys that they were just stop motioning. Really, is what it was.
Basically, but
and
a little bit
like,
more work.
So after this trailer came out on Friday, I think it was, or Saturday. No, yeah, it came out Saturday. Sunday, I woke up and I'm like, I'll check out Power Rangers an episode or 2 on Netflix. I got through one episode. I'm like, yeah, I can't do anymore. It's way too cheesy. I mean, the mythology of it is good, but the show is just way too campy. And much like a lot of stuff I watched when I was a kid, like Thundercats, I love Thundercats, but I try to watch it now, and it's just like, this is ridiculous.
I watch it strictly to see Kimberly, man. That was like my first love right there. Pink Ranger.
Pink Ranger.
On a side note, a little fun fact. The Pink Ranger looks good in this film. I don't know how old she is, but I definitely like the actress they picked.
I know
looks kind of like her.
I know I'm getting older and stuff, but these look like little babies.
That's the thing about those high school girls, man.
I get older, they stay the same age. All right.
I do know the Yellow Ranger is Becky G, which Amber and I saw her in concert. Pretty good concert for her, and
good Lord, hope she doesn't sing.
Oh man, I hope
I don't think
they don't show that.
Like, I know a singer. I hate when they try to make singers sing
in movies.
In the movies. It doesn't look like this is the kind of movie where they can just break out in a song.
Maybe she's at a karaoke night and they're singing.
She's an inspiring singer. There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Oh God.
In any event, I think it's all right. It didn't get me super excited, but I think what this trailer was supposed to do was, we're already Power Ranger fans, so to speak. This trailer, I think, was to bring in the non-people, the people who are questionable, who know that the TV series is very corny and campy. This is to show those people to be like, hey, we're getting a serious take on this, and you people who are not fans of Power Rangers, you'll be able to enjoy this too.
Yeah, but you're only talking about 2% of the world when you're not a Power Ranger fan.
I think you're thinking about 2% of the world that are Power Rangers fans. Okay?
No, bro. I think ticket sales are going to be automatic for a movie like this.
We'll see. We'll see. The last part I want to touch on this was just the music. You know, we're like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And that immediately that takes you back to Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So I'm all about that. So anything else you want to add about Power Rangers before I take the reins?
Well, I can go days and days about Power Rangers, but no.
Of course, immediately people are already talking about a post-credit scene to tease the Green Ranger.
Oh, like, dude, you had to say that?
Because Lionsgate says they have like a dozen Power Rangers movies planned.
Wow.
Already. And of course, if this is a success, they're already going to do a second one. I think they're going to tease a second one, of course, because that's how franchises work nowadays. And I can definitely see them, obviously, you introduce your 5 heroes, and then what's the next pivotal moment after the origin of these 5 heroes? The Green Rangers. So,
well, I hope they don't blow their load too fast, and they bring them in at the end of this one, and it's like not only do they have to fight Rita, but they have to fight the Green Ranger.
I got it. Oh, dude, I'm starting to form this trilogy in my head now, okay?
Oh,
so,
man.
Second one, you bring in the Green Ranger. He's evil, okay? And then they defeat him, but he doesn't turn at the end of the second one, right? They think maybe they'd killed him or, taken him away or whatever. And then in the third one, this guy who they fought the second movie against comes back as the White Ranger, and they're all questionable of him as well.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm getting this trilogy off.
Done.
Done. There you go. Lionsgate, call me up. I got it.
Print it up. It's done.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so moving off of that, let's talk about something that Power Rangers took a lot of its story from. Voltron. That's right. Voltron.
What?
Yes, Voltron, the legendary defender, is coming back for season 2 in January. I loved season 1, okay? And I'm telling Josh he needs to watch season 1. So message him on social media, on Instagram. Tell him he needs to watch season 1 of Voltron, the legendary defender. So the trailer came out. It was awesome. I loved it. I'm excited for season 2. And like I said, Power Rangers I always thought was a mixture of Ninja Turtles and Voltron. Because let's think about Voltron, okay? It's a bunch of 5 people who come together to get these robot, lions, and then they form together to form one giant robot and take care of the alien menace. I mean, add in some ninja and karate moves, which is where the Ninja Turtles come in, and that's Power Rangers right there.
Maybe some Japanese subtitling would be cool too.
Anyway, but yeah, well, Voltron, of course, got its start from Japanese animated properties called Beast King Go Lion and King Law. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Anyway, so there's 2 Japanese anime properties that Voltron kind of borrowed from. I'll say borrowed in a nice way, which is a lot of what American stuff does. Like Americans, we like to take stuff from other countries and especially over in Japan and then Americanize it. Power Rangers itself, the Power Rangers footage is from a Japanese show, and then they just added the American actors in there.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Come on, man.
You had to ruin it.
I'm sorry, that's what it is. So like I said, we steal our best stuff from over in Japan and Europe and everything. So there you go. But anyway, Voltron Season 2, January 20th, 2017. I'm excited. Just kind of the highlights of this trailer for me was first off, Shiro, which is kind of our main character in Voltron, talking in the beginning, which is like, Keith, if I don't make it back, you have to lead Voltron. And what's interesting about that with me is the character of Shiro was not in the original Voltron series that took place from 1984 to 1985. It was a character named Sven. Now, Sven got hurt, and then the Princess Allura took over his lion so that she became a main member of the Voltron force. Sven was pretty much never heard from again, but Shiro is kind of front and center in this. And people were like, well, he wasn't a main member of the Voltron original series, so people are waiting for him to kind of either die or disappear and then bring in the princess to pilot his lion. Is kind of what they're thinking. So this is kind of teasing that Shiro might not make it out of season 2. I can see it happening, but I love what they've done with the character, so I don't really see him. I don't want him to go away, but I can see him going away to make way for the princess taking over in his lion as well. And also, at the end of the introduction of the trailer, you saw Keith, you saw Lance, you saw Pidge, you saw Hunk. The 5th member you didn't see? Shiro. So maybe they're saying that something's happened to him. I don't know. I think he's going to go through a great story arc. This show, I tell you, man, you got to watch it, okay? It's great storytelling. I told you.
It looks cool.
This is from the people who made Avatar: The Last Airbender, the TV show, not the movie, thank God. And the story's very good, very in-depth. If you watch that first 40-minute episode, I guarantee you'll be hooked. You'll be in there for it, especially if you like Avatar. If you like that, I think it'll be good. So let's review, Josh. Okay, so on Netflix, you need to watch finish Flash, watch Luke Cage, watch Voltron, and then go to Supergirl.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah, I totally forgot about Supergirl.
So that's your next one, okay? Obviously. And you got to do all this before Iron Fist, because then otherwise you're going to add another one to it. So
Iron Fist is March?
March.
All right.
Okay?
All right, dude. I mean, selling point for... I got to find selling points on each one of these things for Amber.
Okay.
I mean, Flash is sold. Luke Cage is sold. Voltron is going to be the task.
Voltron's going to be tough.
If I mention Last Airbender,
okay.
she loved that show.
Remember?
She like read books
exactly.
for that.
That's what I'm saying, man. Here's what you do. It's just like I do, okay? I have Lisa try to watch at least one episode, okay? If she doesn't like after one episode, okay. Give her that
Smart.
first episode and then go from there. I know she's going to like Supergirl.
Yeah.
I know she's going to like Supergirl.
Yeah.
So
she likes Flash. Like
exactly.
A lot,
It's the
so.
same thing. So
Yeah.
all right. Okay, so there you go. You have your assignments. Next time you come back, I want you to make some headway on that, okay?
I expect full-page reviews.
Full-page reviews,
double
essays,
spacing.
exactly, all that stuff. All right, guys. Well, we have run long today. We just had a lot to talk about. I want to thank Josh for coming by.
That's good, dude. Felt good to get back.
Taking time off from his vacation to talk on the show. I've been doing 2 shows a week, guys. One with Lisa, one by myself. I got my buddy flying in from Chicago today, so I don't think I'm going to get to a second show this week. But on the plus side, I'm going to be back on Tuesday with my buddy Bryce. He's going to be here, so we're going to talk as well. Josh, if you're still on vacation around, you're more than welcome to come join us. But we're going to have a whole new batch of stories to talk about. That's going to be a good time. So.
I got another week of vacation coming up, dude. Hell yeah.
Don't you're off for 2 weeks,
I'm
right?
off for 2 weeks,
Dang,
man.
dude. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Oh, man. Well, I should have plenty of time to watch Netflix that night.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm taking this time. Like today, I woke up and I'm like, I got like, because I'm checking out the new shows as well.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. So new shows, guys. New shows that I've kind of gotten into that are network shows. The Good Plan, The Good Place. It's got Kristen.
Oh yeah.
Kristen Bell and Ted Danson, where Kristen Bell dies and goes to heaven, but she comes to find out that it's a case of mistaken identity and she's not supposed to be there. So she's this, vulgar kind of girl in this place full of all good people, and it works. I think it's funny. I say check that out. And then the other one, I've only watched the first episode, Timeless.
Oh.
NBC's Timeless. I watched the first episode. I think it's pretty good. I'm going to watch the second episode coming up. It's on my Hulu queue waiting to go. So those are 2 new shows that I've checked out and I think I might try to stick with. There's a couple other shows coming up that might be good. We'll just have to wait and see. But also, this is my time to plug the CW superhero shows. Supergirl has traveled over to the CW from CBS. So now you have Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, and DC's Legends of Tomorrow all on the same network, all running back-to-back, night after night after night, Monday through Thursday.
Damn.
I'm super excited about that.
Wow.
Okay, and they're already teasing the big crossover episode. It's going to be Arrow's 100th episode where they're going to cross all 4 shows as well. So we're going to see Supergirl with Flash and Green Arrow and with the Atom and with Firestorm and all those characters put together, man. It's going to be awesome. And as you know, as I've stated, given the status of DC's film universe, I'm much more into the TV universe.
We have to look forward to
exactly.
for DC.
Okay.
Thank you, DC.
Right? All right. Keep going on the shows. The shows you're doing good at. Anything else you want to add before we take off, man?
No, man. I'm just saying more positive influence on DC. I think the better, dude.
Cool. All right, guys. So let us know what you think, of course. Hit us up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Facebook, the group, of course. Hit us up there as well. Let us know. We want to hear from you guys. And, of course, the Twitter account as well. You can find me personally, Slim Dayspring 12 on Instagram and Twitter. Josh, where can they harass you?
Instagram, Facebook, regardless, either one. Instagram.
You still don't have Twitter, do you?
No,
Okay.
dude.
All right.
I don't have a Twitter.
I'm saying, you gotta spread yourself out there,
I guess I'm not that cool.
See, Facebook is for my friends. For me, Twitter is my celebrity stalking mechanism. So that's like all my Facebook friends are actual people I know. Twitter is just celebrities that I like to hear what they say.
Interesting.
All right, guys. So until next time, same bat channel.